In the bustling town of Rosenglen, nestled between lush hills and the gleaming riverbank, lived two people whose lives could not have been more different. Amelia Ray, an orphaned girl of 22, worked tirelessly at the local bakery. The scent of warm bread and sweet pastries often masked the hunger pangs gnawing in her stomach, a hunger she couldn't afford to satisfy. Life had always been a battle for Amelia, but her spirit remained unbroken. Her laughter brightened the bakery, and her stories about fantastical lands enchanted customers who sought more than just bread. On the other side of town, towering above the quaint cottages, stood the Sterling Mansion. Its owner, Alexander Sterling, was the sole heir to one of the largest fortunes in Rosenglen. Wealth enveloped him, yet he felt an emptiness in the echoes of the mansion's vast halls. To the townsfolk, Alexander was an enigma, aloof but kind, generous yet reserved. Despite his wealth, he longed for a connection that wasn't clouded by expectations or social status. One fateful morning, Alexander wandered into the bakery, drawn by the aroma of freshly baked sourdough. It was then that their paths crossed. Amelia, her apron dusted with flour, looked up to see the striking man before her. He had a quiet intensity in his emerald green eyes and a crooked smile that hinted at an unspoken vulnerability. "Welcome! What can I get you?" she asked, her voice as warm as the loaves cooling behind her. Alexander hesitated. This wasn't just a transaction, it felt like a moment he couldn't ignore. "A loaf of sourdough," he said, though the bread wasn't the only thing he needed. The exchange was brief, yet it left an impression on both. Alexander found himself returning to the bakery daily, intrigued by Amelia's resilience and warmth. She treated him like any other customer, unaware of his identity as one of Rosenglen's wealthiest men. Weeks turned to months, and their interactions grew into heartfelt conversations. Alexander began to share fragments of his life, while Amelia talked about her dreams of opening her own bakery, a place filled with love, warmth, and hope for the less fortunate. One day, Alexander arrived at the bakery with a proposition. "Amelia, would you let me take you to the summer festival this weekend?" She blinked in surprise. "The summer festival? I can't afford the tickets." Alexander smiled. "Consider it a gift then." Reluctantly, Amelia agreed. That weekend, she adorned herself in a modest dress borrowed from her friend, Anna, and met Alexander at the festival. The evening was magical. They danced under the glowing lanterns, tasted candied apples, and laughed until their cheeks ached. For the first time, Amelia felt seen, truly seen. Alexander, too, discovered a happiness he had long thought unattainable. Their connection was undeniable, but Amelia still didn't know the full truth about Alexander's wealth. It was only after a chance encounter with an old friend of Alexan